everyone, welcome back, and I've got a slightly different kind of video for you today. I've done packing videos in the past for my Disney trips, and I will do one of those right before I go away on this next trip. But this video is going to be more everything that I do prepping for one of my Disney trips. So I'm going to be going through everything from my beauty products, how I pick my outfits, my accessories and ears and bags and all that kind of thing, the actual plans for the trip. I'm going to be finally doing the space bun tutorial, the 5-minute space bun tutorial. I've had so many questions about that from this hairstyle that I had on the last trip when it was super hot in Florida. I'm going to be showing you how to do that. It really is so quick and easy. I'll probably take you with me shopping as well, just looking for a few of the things that I need, going through some tips and tricks and things you might have forgotten. It's just kind of an everything prepping for Disney video. Many of you have been here for years following along on my Disney trips and my Disney vlogs, but if you are new to this channel and this is the first of my videos that you're seeing, hello and welcome. My name's Victoria and I share my Disney trips with you all through my vlogs and videos like this, like I say, packing videos. I've been going to Florida for 23 years now. The trip I'm about to do is my 37th trip to Orlando, so I've got a lot of experience of planning these trips, booking them, prepping for them, packing, all of that kind of stuff that I'm going to go through with you today. So if you're planning a trip, if you're hoping to book one, keep watching because there's going to be loads of information coming up on everything that you need to think about, because when it comes to Disney trips, there is a lot to think about. I've got some of my favourite beauty products right here, so I think I'll start with that and then we'll go into outfits and all of the rest of the stuff. First up, I've got my moisturiser and eye cream that I'm currently using. Both of these products are very hydrating, but they're not thick and greasy because I do have quite an oily skin, so anything that's too heavy will cause a problem for me, especially in Florida when you're sweating. You definitely don't want anything causing any more shine. I've got the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. This moisturiser, as the name suggests, is very lightweight but ultra hydrating. I absolutely love this. I put this on at night time after a treatment product that I use, which I'll show you in a second, but I love this. I love the texture and the consistency of it, and it's really not that expensive either, so I will link that below. I'll link everything below that I'm talking about in this video. And the eye cream that I'm currently using is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration. I really love this. Again, this is super hydrating, but it's quite light, so it doesn't feel too like rich or anything like that. I use this at night time. I don't put it on in the morning actually, I just put it on at night. But I absolutely love this one. Again, this is budget friendly as well, which is always a good thing. Next up is deodorant, which is an absolute must in Florida. We all know how hot it gets out there, so deodorant is a non-negotiable. You're absolutely going to need this. And I've been really excited to tell you about this because I've been trying out something new. As you guys may know, I've partnered with Wild for the last few years now, and they have come out with something that a lot of you guys have been asking for. When I've partnered with Wild in the past, some of you have mentioned that you prefer a roll-on deodorant. Wild have now come out with a roll-on. This is something that they've been working on for a while now, and it is finally available. This is refillable, the same as all of their products, so you keep the case and you just refill the actual product when it runs out. And I've got the B case here, as you can see. I love this. It really gives me Bridgerton vibes. Love Bridgerton. I can't wait for the next series, by the way. Anybody else, let me know in the comments. I've got the fresh cotton and sea salt fragrance here, which is so nice. This is one of their classic fragrances that you can get in the other style of deodorant they do as well. It's really, really fresh. Absolutely love that. As with all of Wild's products, it's aluminium free and vegan if you prefer natural ingredients. You get 24-hour protection, and with this one you get no white marks. I absolutely love it. Like I say, it's probably 3 years now actually that I've been using it, and I've never looked back. I put it on in the morning, even when I'm in the Florida heat, and that's it, done for the day. I don't need to keep taking it with me, reapplying. So if you've been wanting to try it but you prefer a roll-on, now is the time to give this a go. Wild have given me a code 20Victoria for you guys to get 20% off. There's several different cases and fragrances available with the new launch. I'll put a link in the description as well as the code, and there's also a QR code here. If you're watching on the TV, you can just scan this with your phone and that will take you straight through to get the discount, and you get the discount off everything. They also do the stick deodorant, they do hand wash, they do body wash, lip balms, and if you need more refills you can use the code to get 20% off everything. They also have coconut and vanilla and cherry blossom in the new roll-on, and I really want to try both of those. Coconut and vanilla is one of my favorites of their staple fragrances. So I'll be bringing this with me as well as my stick one. I'm just going to take both. Another thing that is so important when you go to Florida is your SPF, and quite frankly it is important every single day. If there's one skincare tip that I can give you, and I honestly have been doing this for the past 20 years, wear SPF on your skin every single day. without fail. It's the one thing I think that makes the biggest difference for keeping your skin looking young. This is my favourite that I've been using at the moment. It's the La Roche-Posay SPF 50 and Thelios UV Air. This one I really like because it doesn't leave any kind of oiliness or greasiness. Some SPFs are a bit like that. This one though is so light, and once it's on, I mainly concentrate it on my forehead, cheeks, and kind of in my under eye area. Be careful not to get it in your eye, obviously, and my nose. I do put it a little bit everywhere, but those kind of areas are the most important, and it just doesn't cause any shine or any extra like sweatiness or stickiness or anything like that. So this one is my absolute favourite that I've ever used. Actually, I used to use a Boots one. This one is a little more expensive, but I do prefer it. What else have I got in here? My shower gel. This is just a mini version of the Olay Shea Butter. I do buy this in Florida. This isn't a fragrance that you can get in the UK. I normally use the bar soap rather than a shower gel. That's what I use at home, and they do this exact fragrance in a bar soap as well. I buy it in a packet of 6, which lasts ages. So that's what I normally use, but I will take this with me when I'm going on a trip. And this is actually a hair product. It's my VO5 Instant Volume Powder. It's just a little pot of very, very fine powder. If you struggle with getting volume into your hair, which I kind of do because my hair is so long, so like volume on top, I have this powder which I put in, and if you kind of rough it back up again, you can probably tell that I've got it in here because it adds texture to your hair. So you can just kind of ruffle it a little bit, and it will like pick up the volume. And this is when it's very hot and sweaty as well. So I swear by this stuff. It's not very expensive and you don't need very much. And I also find if you don't wash your hair every single day, it just helps almost with a bit of a dry shampoo effect. I use dry shampoo as well, but I just find it really stops it from looking like flat and lifeless. So really love that. Oh, I've got one more sneaky product that was lurking there. This is my setting spray that I use. I probably will talk about makeup a little bit more later in this video, or maybe even in a different video, because I feel like makeup is a whole nother thing. But this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I love this, especially when I go to Florida in the heat. It really does just help too much shine from coming through. Obviously you're going to sweat, there's no helping that, and I usually find my forehead makeup kind of comes off a little bit. You just can't stop that from happening, but generally speaking this will really keep my makeup on, and when I get to the end of the day it has stayed on pretty well considering how hot it is. It depends on the time of year, but when I was there in May, for example, it was so hot. I don't top my makeup up throughout the day. I just don't have time for that. I'm always on the go, I'm always busy. So I do find this is a really good product. It's a little on the pricey side, and I do have a NYX one which I'm going to be trying out really soon, so I'll maybe be able to see if that is just as good but a bit cheaper. But for now this is the one that I use. I've got a bit left, but once this one finishes I'm going to start using the NYX one and test that out. Okay, I think I'm going to turn my attention next to outfits and accessories like my ears and bags. I'm going to take a look in my wardrobe, take a look at what I've got and lay that out on the bed. I'll obviously show you all of that, decide what I'm going to take. Then I'll probably start looking on Vinted to see if I need any other dresses and things, and I might actually go to some shops and have a look. I'll take you guys with me if I'm doing that. Then I'll chat through some general planning things, some kind of miscellaneous pre-planning things that you need to think about specifically for Disney. Then I'll do the hair tutorial and probably talk through our actual plans that we've got and what's going to be coming up in the vlogs that will be coming very soon. So the first thing I do when it comes to choosing which outfits are going to be coming with me from what I already have, and before I figure out if I need to buy anything, I go through the wardrobe, and some of my stuff is also in underbed like storage bags, more things that I only wear to Florida. So I'll go through that as well and just pull out things that I definitely think I'm going to want to take. I do think about what I wore last time, or are there things that I wear all the time, and try and mix it up a little bit. I actually haven't worn the red lemon dress for a while, so I'm probably going to take that one, I think. I'm a little bit selective about when I wear this one because it's one of my favourites actually. It's from Boohoo, I think, this one. It was a long time ago, but it's not stretchy, and when it's hot it's not necessarily the best one to wear because it's a bit tighter. So maybe I'll actually save this one until November or my January trip when it's much cooler and I feel a bit more comfortable. This is kind of why it's worth properly considering everything. I think probably this one I will take. I haven't worn that the last couple of trips, I don't think. I do love this one with the hearts, so I'll probably bring that. And I think I have to bring the Halloween haunted house dress. My mum made this for me. I absolutely love it for a Halloween trip. I do love that one, but I've worn it quite a lot. This one's fairly new. I've only actually worn that once, so let's bring that out. A lot of this is more daytime, at home kind of t-shirts and tops. This one I should definitely be wearing later in the year. This is from Merchoid. I absolutely love their Christmas sweaters. Love that. Usually I would bring one of these jumpers for like travel day. I absolutely love my Pleasing Fantasia one. I've obviously got that Mickey one that I sometimes wear, this hoodie, but it's going to be too hot for that in September. I don't think I'm going to be wearing anything like that. Then I go through my ears and pick out ears that match each of the outfits that I like. Last year I think I wore these black ones with this Halloween dress, but this year I think I'm going to have to go with the bright pink. These were very kindly gifted to me by Ears Ever After, and I think the hot pink is just going to be perfect with this, and then it kind of goes up to hot pink at the top again there, so definitely those with that outfit. Then with the lemons, I think definitely these ones. These are Disney ones. Most of the ones I have here are from Magic Maker ears, like these ones, most of these sequin ones other than the pink ones. This is a Disney pair. I obviously don't need ears for every single outfit because sometimes I might wear my hair up, or we might be doing something on one of the days that is not going to the Disney parks, but definitely those are perfect with that. So I'll go through everything I've picked out and match it up with which ears I want. Then the crucial thing with these outfits is to try them on. I actually don't have a full length mirror yet, so I can't really do that in this video and show you actually trying them on. Perhaps I'll do that in the packing video. But at this point I'm trying to just pick out and match up ears and accessories and stuff. But the point I kind of wanted to make that's important is to try on everything you've picked out. Try it on, see how you feel in it. If you don't feel right in it, or you're a bit on the fence, I wouldn't bother taking it, because if you don't feel right in it when you're trying it on in your bedroom, you're not going to feel comfortable walking around in it. Make sure everything's comfortable, you're not like pulling at it, or it's not too short, so you're going to keep yanking it down. All of those kinds of things are things you're not going to want to have to deal with when you're there. Trust me when I say this is the voice of experience. I've worn things before just because I really like them, but if there's been some sort of problem with it not quite fitting properly, or being too short, or being uncomfortable in some type of way, it will drive you mad. So try everything on, make sure you're totally comfortable wearing it before you bother to pack it. So trying on all of your outfits is very important, and that will come in the packing video. I'll show you all of these. I've laid out a few things here to show you. This isn't everything, because this is more of a prepping video than the actual packing video. It's just a few things that I wanted to let you know about that you might want to get in advance, because you might need to order these things ahead of time. But they're things that I absolutely rely on when I do my trips. Obviously my ears are just laid out here for the purposes of matching them up with the outfits, and this is not all of them. I do have a lot more. I have way too many really, but these are the ones I probably wear the most often. This is a new pair, this fluffy one. I absolutely love those from Magic Maker ears. I also have some of my bags here. This one I haven't even used yet, the popcorn bag, and these days I'm tending to prefer a crossbody rather than a Loungefly. I do love my Loungefly bags, and I do definitely use them on some of the days, especially if I need something a bit bigger than say something like that. But I do prefer being able to grab things quickly out of a crossbody bag. But I love my Bing Bong Loungefly, and I wanted to show you the insert that I've got. I'll link this below. I absolutely love it. It fits in all of these small Loungefly bags, and it's got lots of different pockets inside. So it makes it a bit more organised. Sometimes in a Loungefly bag, everything just drops to the bottom and it's really hard to find things. So I do absolutely love that insert. I have got my swimwear there. I find that that's something weirdly that's easy to forget, because it's not a beach holiday. You're thinking about all your park outfits, but don't forget to throw some swimwear in, because you might want to go by the pool or have a pool day. This is actually Paul's neck pillow. I'm going to get a second one of these, but because I'm going on this trip and it's just me, I'm going to borrow his. This pillow is just the best. It's got this bit in the middle so you can wear it kind of behind your head, or you can wear it kind of on the front so you can lean forward and it doesn't hurt your neck. It's just amazing. Love that. This is just a little pouch that I have. I tend to put small things in there. I just like to have a few different zip pouches like this to put smaller bits and pieces in. One of them is this Disney Cruise Line one that I have. This was gifted to me when we did the cruise last year, and this one I tend to put things like plug adapters. Always remember to bring those. My magic band and the charger. I need to throw the charger in actually and get that charged up. I always have a phone holder which fits onto my tripod for when I do live streams in the parks. And then just little cables. This is a USB to USB-C. I take all sorts of different types of cables because I just have lots of tech things and vlogging equipment, and I like this little pouch to put those in. That's the beauty stuff that we were talking about earlier. And I have got some sunscreen here. I'm just going to take one of these because it's only me. I don't need it for me and Paul. So I'll probably take one, and then we'll have another one then for November. My Brita filter water bottle. I cannot say enough good things about this. It has a filter in here, so you can fill this up literally from the tap in your hotel room or any of the water fountains, and that very distinctive, not very nice Orlando water taste completely goes away when you use this. The EasyAC fan, classic, most important thing to take with you when you're going to Florida. Again, I'll link it below. Make sure you got one of these. It's an absolute lifesaver, and a power bank as well. Always take a power bank. These are my various packing cubes. I have this one, which is a specific underwear packing cube. You can get loads in there. It kind of goes quite big, if that makes sense. You can see there. I've got my level 8 packing cubes. I absolutely love those. And then I also have these ones, which were gifted to me at a Disney PR event. Those ones are really big. I have my little snack pouch, and I've already pre-purchased a few things, and I'll get a few more bits to put in there. I never buy my snacks at the airport anymore. They are so expensive compared to buying them from a supermarket ahead of time. So that's definitely something that you'll want to do before you go. I have this phone strap, which was very kindly gifted to me by Casetify, and it's basically like a crossbody strap, but just for your phone, and it attaches to their phone cases, which I have one of theirs on my phone at the moment. So that could be really useful. I like to be able to grab my phone quickly. These are the little shorts that I wear underneath my dresses. These are from the brand Snag. They do tights as well, and they are the best fitting tights that I have ever had. These are just little shorts, but they are made out of the same type of fabric as tights, and I find them just so much better for not getting all sweaty. If you have like thick lycra shorts on, these are much more lightweight. I absolutely love them. And finally, if you watched my most recent vlogs when I went with Paul, on the flight home, I was struggling to stay asleep because those new TV screens on the newer planes that are really big, every time somebody was watching their screen, if they turned it on, it was really bright and it kept waking me up. So I have bought this blackout eye mask. I'll link this one below. I don't know what it's like yet, but it had really good reviews. So bearing in mind what happened last time, I thought I would get one of those. Time to pick up some toiletries and things like that. Let's see what they got here. Might pick up a face mask. Anti-aging, smoothing and firming, sounds good. I'm going to get some insect repellent. If you guys remember last time, I could not find it in the Walmart, so I'll just get these pens. They've got 100 sprays. Got the travel minis here. Is there anything I need? Have they got a small one of my shampoo? They never do. They always have this one, which is the argan oil, but I use the coconut. I usually just decant it into a smaller bottle. It's always worth just checking with the travel minis because they can be quite expensive, and I tend to just decant things into smaller bottles, so make sure you don't overspend on things like this because they do tend to be quite pricey. I do need a decent hand cream though because I've had really dry hands lately. Let's go for the anti-age. Just picked up some paracetamol, and I might grab some aspirin. I usually take one when I get on the plane just to make sure you don't get blood clots. Some people wear flight socks, but I normally just take one aspirin. These will do. Just having a look around the clothing section. Got a sale on here. I do kind of like that, but I know that this will be a problem. It looks like it's an off-the-shoulder thing, and sometimes that like keeps falling off, so I'm not gonna go with that. I've missed the boat a bit, I think, with summer stuff. A lot of this is very autumny. They do have vest tops, but I don't know, I'm feeling like this is not summer stuff. I do like that t-shirt, it's quite nice and thick. They do have some dresses here, but these are very much not summer dresses, definitely not. These are very autumnal. That's actually really nice, the style of it, but I'm really not sure about orange. Orange is not my colour at all. If that was a different colour, I would definitely consider that one. Do have some swimwear in here as well. I think if you've got a Florida trip coming up, just be mindful of doing a bit of shopping in the lead up to it, even if it's quite far in advance, because depending when you're going, like now, this is only August, and already I would say a lot of this stuff is definitely more autumny. I'm not getting summer vibes from any of these clothes, so if you had wanted summer stuff, really it would be like May or June probably would be better to look. I think online you're always fine, but if you're actually going into shops to look, then you need to think about the seasons ahead of time.
They do have a travel stand here. They got straps to go on your suitcase and locks, luggage scales. They got travel adapters. Those are important not to forget. They do have the plastic bottles if you'd rather do that than spend out on the mini toiletries, and some travel pillows there. I'm just at my desk now. I've been doing a few bits and pieces of kind of pre-Florida admin. I've been updating my ESTA for one thing. So I thought this would be a good time to just run through a few important kind of prep things that you need to do in terms of the actual booking of your trip and the flights and all of that kind of super important stuff. I'm drinking so much iced coffee at the moment. I'm obsessed with that new Nescafe caramel iced coffee, and I'm just drinking so many of those every day, probably too many. So in terms of important admin stuff, so ESTA is the first thing. If you don't have a visa for the US, which most people don't, then you will need an ESTA, which is like their visa waiver program, which is for people who are visiting on holiday. Everybody in your party needs to have one, and while they do usually come back very quickly, you don't want to leave it till the last minute. I've heard lots of horror stories of people leaving it at the last minute or forgetting and things like that, or thinking someone else in their group has done it for everybody when they haven't. So just make sure, absolutely certain, that you have done your ESTA. I just needed to update mine. They last for 2 years, I want to say. It's not 3 years, it's 2 years. I'll put it on the screen just to be certain. I'm sure it's 2 years. So always make sure that yours is still in date when you're going to travel, and just be careful of little things like if you have updated your passport since you last did your ESTA, you need to do a new one, because the ESTA is attached to the passport number. So if your passport expired since you did your last one and you've got a new one, if you got married or divorced and changed your name, for example, then you would need to do a new ESTA to go along with that passport. That's really important. The previous one won't be any good because that was linked to the old passport. I don't ever bother printing it off. I have done a few times over the years, but you never need it printed. You can actually get an app on your phone as well for the ESTA, so I wouldn't bother printing it. I like to just try and save paper and ink where I possibly can. I just never really print anything, to be honest. Passport is another one. Obviously, make sure everyone's passports are sorted and in date and all of that kind of thing, and make sure you do that before you do your ESTA. Park tickets is an important one. Most people, if you're traveling from the UK, would purchase your park tickets before you go, either as part of the package that you've booked, or if you need to buy them separately, you can easily do that online. But make sure you have done that and you've downloaded the My Disney Experience app and you've linked your tickets to the app. It's really easy to do, but just make sure you've got all of that sorted before you travel. You don't want any stress like that when you get there or when you're trying to get into the park, so just make sure that's done. Obviously, your dining reservations, if you are wanting to eat in any of the sit-down restaurants at Disney. Quick service, obviously you can just go along, but if you want any of the sit-down places, some of them you might be able to walk up to, but I wouldn't rely on that, especially if you're wanting to do like character dining experiences or places like Ohana, very, very popular. You would need to make a reservation. You can do that 60 days out in advance of your trip. And if you're staying in a Disney resort, you can do 60 days out and then you can do like 10 days worth of your trip. If you are staying in a villa or a hotel off site, you would have to do it like day by day. When it gets to the 60 days, I would recommend doing it as soon as it comes online. I think it's normally 11 a.m. UK time is when the next kind of day gets released. Some of them, especially places like Ohana, if you don't do it straight away, they just go so fast. If you're wanting to book lightning lanes for your trip ahead of time, we sometimes book some of the individual ones like Guardians of the Galaxy or Flight of Passage. I normally like to have one for those attractions that I know might have a long wait time, but I definitely want to make sure that I do. If you're staying in a Disney resort, you can book those 7 days out from the beginning of your trip. So it is quite close. So again, this is something you need to remember to do quite close to the date of your actual trip. 7 a.m. is the time that it opens up. I believe that's 7 a.m. US though, which should be 12 midday here. So just keep an eye on it, maybe go on a little bit before that just to make sure. I normally try at 11 a.m. just to make sure it hasn't opened up early and then keep checking. But you can do your entire trip if you're staying in a Disney resort. At the 7 days before, you'll be able to book 14 days worth for your trip. Again, if you're staying in an offsite hotel or a villa or something, then you can book 3 days out from the date that your park ticket begins, I believe. If you're an annual pass holder, then it would be 3 days before the date that you have a park reservation booked, I think. I think that's how it works. For me, I'm staying in a Disney hotel, so that will override the 3-day rule. So because I'm in a Disney hotel, I should be able to book mine 7 days out. One very important thing if you are in the UK, it has been said that you can't book lightning lanes ahead of
of time, you can, in my experience. There's lots of different things been said about what you have to do, and you have to use a VPN and all this, that and the other. In my experience, you don't need to have a VPN. What you need to do though is go into your My Disney Experience app, into your profile information, and in your address details, change it from UK to US, and then it will allow you to do it. If you don't do that, it won't let you do it. So make sure you have done that. Afterwards, I guess you can change it back, or probably just leave it. I don't think it makes any difference. But anyway, that is what you need to do to be able to book them in advance from the UK. Of course, when you're in the parks, you can just try and do them when you're there, but things that are very popular, you might find that they've all run out several days in advance for the most popular attractions. So that is what you need to do for that. If you've bought any other tickets for other parks, things like Kennedy Space Centre or other experiences, most of them now I think send you e-tickets which you'll have on your phone, but in the unlikely event that anyone does send you physical tickets, I have had that up until fairly recently, do not forget to take them with you. I do know of people in the past who have bought tickets for something that's cost several £100s and then they've forgotten the tickets at home. And that's not so much of a problem anymore, as I say, because usually it's all done online, but just be mindful of anything like that. Then another thing is currency. So if you're going to bring some dollars with you in cash, I don't find that's very necessary anymore. I use Starling Bank. I will link them below. It's an online account. It's all done through the app on your phone. So anyone can apply for a Starling account in addition to your regular bank that you bank with. But they don't charge you anything for foreign transaction fees. So everything can just be done as normal with your normal debit card. So that is what I would recommend doing. But it's always worth taking a little bit of cash with you to tip housekeeping and stuff like that, or if anybody helps you with your bags. So you could go and get a few dollars. I normally just go to M&S, is usually quite good for their exchange rate, and just change over, you know, $40 or something, whatever you want, 50, just to make sure you've got a few dollars for tipping. When it comes to tipping in sit-down restaurants, all of that can be done on your card or a gift card or whatever. You don't need cash for that. It would only be for housekeeping and anyone helping you with your bags, really. I would also make sure you've got one of those currency converter apps downloaded on your phone. They're free usually, but then if you need to work out anything while you're away, what it's going to be in pounds rather than dollars, you can do that. Whenever you spend anything with Starling, it instantly pops up and tells you what it was in pounds, which is really handy, but you might want to check something beforehand, so you can download one of those apps. The other thing to check on is your mobile phone. Check whether your monthly package or tariff, whatever you've got, includes use in the US. A lot of them don't. So I'm with O2 and mine just automatically works in the US and Europe when I go over there. When I land, I get a text message basically saying I can use it as normal, but a lot of providers don't do that, or it might be free in Europe but not in the States. And sometimes it's a cost per day, which can be anything between like £5 and £10 per day. Otherwise, it might just charge you per megabyte of data, which would be an absolute disaster. So one thing that I would do is check ahead of time whether you do have something that means you can use it over there. If your provider doesn't offer that, make sure you turn off roaming before you get on the plane to go to the US, because you don't want to turn it on when you land and it instantly will start like updating apps, downloading things and goodness knows what. So turn off your roaming if it's not included. And you can get a different SIM card for your phone. Lots of companies now do like an eSIM. I've put one below where you can check it out and see what that's all about. But that way you can get some usage. You pay per day again normally, but it's a bit cheaper than doing it through your provider. So just check into that before you go. You don't want to suddenly get any horrible phone bills when you get back. Oh, and one more thing I was going to mention, this is just a smallish thing, but don't forget, if you have any subscriptions for like grocery delivery things like HelloFresh or Gusto or anything like that, make sure you have paused things like that when you go away on holiday. There's nothing worse than if something like that turned up and all just got ruined while you're away. It's very easy to forget to pause things like that, so don't forget about that. And most people don't have recurring like grocery shopping deliveries, but just in case you do, just have a think about anything like that you might need to change as well. Going back to what I was saying about Starling Bank, if you do plan on using any of your own credit cards or your own debit cards, just check whether they do charge, because it can be quite hefty charge on each transaction, which really adds up while you're out there. So just check into all of that before you go away. Don't just go and start using it, because it could cost you quite a lot of money. Like I say, I would recommend just taking out a Starling account. It's easy, quick, and then you can just transfer money into it
and you can also draw out cash while you're there if you need to, and they don't charge for that either. So definitely that is the way that I would go. I'm about to have a look on Vinted to see if there's any dresses and things that I like the look of. On that note of looking for stuff on Vinted, one thing that I would recommend doing if you've got plenty of time still before your trip, when you're going through and looking at your outfits like I was doing earlier, anything that's in your wardrobe that you're really not going to wear again, I would pull all of that out and actually put it on Vinted and sell it. That way you can build up a little bit of money on there. So if you do want to buy some new clothes, you actually can almost exchange some of your old stuff for new stuff. It's very expensive going on a Disney trip as it is, and all of the spending money while you're there, everything it costs to actually pay for the trip. So you don't really want to have to spend a load more money on buying too many things before you go. So Vinted is great for that because you can sell some stuff and then buy a few things. So that's probably what I'll do. When I was going through, I could see a few things there that I could do with getting rid of. It's easy to just never get rid of anything but buy new stuff, and then in a minute you just have so many things. It's best to sell them on. Somebody else might really enjoy wearing them, and if it's not something that you're going to wear, and you can make a little bit of money back as well. So with that said, I think I'm going to have a quick look on Vinted while I'm sat here. Then I'm going to show you the 5-minute space bun tutorial. I know you've all been waiting for that. Okay, time for a space bun tutorial. Like I said, normally when you're doing this yourself, it's like 5 minutes. It's very quick, especially once you get used to it. I'm going to be talking you through it, so it might take a little bit longer, but it normally just takes 5 minutes. So the first thing you want to do is part your hair down the middle. I don't normally do that, so it always feels a bit weird. And if you've got someone with you, they can kind of help you to part it down the back. It doesn't have to be perfect, or you can just, you know, use the mirror, but try your best to get it in half. You basically want to have the same amount of hair on both sides. It's quite important. Then we're going to take our first side and put it up. And you do want to get this quite high up if you can. So just kind of keep lifting it and try and keep it as smooth as you can on the top here. Okay, that should do. Then take your band, and how many times you put it through will depend how thick your hair is or how, you know, stretchy the elastic is. But I'm going to go through twice, and then on the third time you just want to pull it through part of the way. Now I wouldn't do it too much, even if you have really long hair. So with mine, I could pull this quite far through, but the bigger this bit is, the more difficult it is to control the space buns. If they get too big, they don't stay in as well. So you don't want it too kind of loose, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull it through a little bit more. I'm just going to adjust this camera because it's leaning down a bit too much. There we go. So I'm going to have mine about like that kind of size. Now, depending how long your hair is, you might only have like a little bit left here, which is fine because I'm going to show you what I do with that and how I tuck that in. I've obviously got quite a lot, but that is kind of the size that we're going to be working with. The hard part is just getting the other side as close as you can, both in terms of the size and where it is on your head. And I always find this side more difficult to get in the same place, but let's try. I am doing this with no mirror in the camera viewfinder, which is really not helping. Normally I would do better. This won't be my best work, but at least it will show you how to do it. Yeah, that should be about right. So take your band. And again, and then on the third time, the next thing we're going to do is get rid of this bit. If you've got quite a lot, I would go around this way because you want the very end bit to be at the back. So just do that and then pin. Make sure you pin that quite tight because you don't want that unraveling. So at this point it looks something like that. Then do the same with the other side. And pin it in place. So then what you want to do is grab the actual kind of hair that we started with, pull it a bit more taut, and then we're going to fan it out.
like this. Then get a pin. I say I'm really doing this quite roughly and I don't have a mirror, so I do apologise. It will not look as polished as it normally would, but I just wanted to show you how to do it. Then grab the other side, and this is where you can kind of manipulate it a bit and pull a little bit out. Just make sure you don't pull it too hard to get them the size that you want. And pin down that side. Then I take some hairspray. Sometimes you get this happen. If that happens, just kind of fan it out and pull a bit more down and then do another pin, because that kind of can happen sometimes. And as long as you put the grips tight enough, it really should stay in. Like, I actually rode Guardians with it like this, and I was convinced, absolutely convinced, that I'd come off and it would just totally like fall out, but it didn't. So again, on this side, just kind of fan it out. This is so not going to be as neat as it normally would because I just can't see what I'm doing, to be honest, but you get the idea. You'll see from the photos it looks way better than this. Then take the other side. Then I normally just have a couple of little bits down here, not too much, but I just like that. You can always play around if it feels like it's like too scraped back. You can just pull ever so slightly to make that a bit looser, or if it's gone a bit funny, you can kind of smooth it out. But that is basically it. That's how you do it. Like I said, I cannot properly see what I'm doing here because the lighting is weird as well. If you have one that is looking a lot bigger than the other, you can just kind of tease the other one out. If you've got one that's further forward than the other, you can like grip it from behind a bit more to like push it forward. But the main thing is to try and get them equal when you're actually brushing the hair up, because that makes it so much easier. I can see here it's a little bit weird where I pinned it down, but like I say, I really can't see properly. But that is how you do it. Once you get used to it, it's very easy to do. It does stay up all day. It really will just depend how long your hair is as to how big these can be. So if you've got much shorter or thinner hair, they might be a bit smaller, but it's still cute. And it's actually better, like I said, not having too much hair, because then these bits are not as thick where you've wrapped it around, and that actually does help you rather than hinder. It's so good when you're in Florida though, because it keeps it right up on top of your head so you don't get hot and sweaty as much. It's so much better than having it down in super hot weather. So yeah, there it is, the space sponge tutorial. The main thing is practice, so practice it several times before you go, and then you won't be getting frustrated on the morning when you're trying to do it. Once you get the hang of it, it's really, really fast. And definitely use a proper mirror. Don't try doing what I'm trying to do here, because this is really difficult in this teeny tiny little square, but hopefully you've got the idea from that. So it's later on now. I have taken the space buns down, which has kind of messed up my hair, and I've got like hairspray and goodness knows what still going on in there, so just ignore that. But I thought I would sit down and just tell you a little bit about our plans for this trip. I said I was going to do that and let you know specifically some of the things that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be staying at Disney on this trip in All Star Sports. I'm really glad to be staying at Disney again. Normally I do a couple of off-site trips each year, but this year I haven't done any off-site yet. So yeah, this is still going to be a Disney hotel for this trip. We're going to be going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. I absolutely love that party. It's my favourite, so I can't wait to go and do that. One thing that I am super, super excited for, probably up there as one of the things I'm most excited for, we have a reservation at Geo 82, which is the new Spaceship Earth lounge. I believe Spaceship Earth itself might be down for refurbishment while we're there, but we'll get to see that new lounge. I'm going to obviously show it in the vlogs. We're going to try some of the food and drinks there, so I really can't wait to do that. Of course, the new Starlight Parade is going to be a massive highlight in the Magic Kingdom. I can't wait to see that as well. That's new for us. I'm still going to keep my my travel companion a secret. You'll have to wait and see who that is when the vlogs begin. We also have a reservation at the cake bake shop. So you know, when Catherine and I were there last time, we could only go to the kind of walk up bakery and grab something for us to eat on the boardwalk, but this time we actually have a reservation in the restaurant there, so we'll be showing you that as well, doing all of the parks. I really can't wait to get back out there. It's going to be Food and Wine Festival as well, so we'll be experiencing that in Epcot. There's going to be so much coming up in these new vlogs, and of course then in November Paul and I will be going for Christmas, so I really can't wait for what's to come over these next few months. In terms of prepping for this trip, I've got written down on my phone here my last few to-dos that I need to get done. So I still need to pick up some dollars for mousekeeping. I will do that. I want to check back on Vinted. I had a look earlier in this video when I said I was going to have a look through, and I couldn't find anything in that moment, but things get listed all the time. So as long as there's still time for something to arrive, I might keep looking and then get something if anything pops up. I still need to book my lightning lanes. I can't do that until 7 days before. I still need to input the advanced passenger info onto the Norse app or the website or whatever you want to call it into our booking, because that is something that you have to do. The advanced passenger info is just basically some extra information. I think you put your passport number in, you have to put the address that you're going to be staying at when you're in America, all of that sort of thing. You need to input that before you travel. So I need to do that. And I also need to book the Premier Inn at Gatwick. Paul's actually going to be taking me up to the airport again, and he'll stay overnight with me the night before and then head back the next day. So you will get to see Paul in these vlogs in the travel day. And I'm meeting my travel companion there this time because she is going to be in London anyway the day before. Like I said, I'm going to do a proper packing video where I can show you all of the outfits that I've chosen, which ears I'm taking to go with them and all that sort of thing. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. I thought this would just be something a bit different to talk about some of the other things that I do in preparation for a Disney trip. Of course, I've got my hair appointment as well. My nails, I normally go and have them done, but I've actually been doing them myself recently with a little gel kit that I bought with the UV lamp and everything, so I'll probably do my own nails. But things like that I need to think about as well. But I always do an extra to-do list, which is literally for like the week before I'm going, to make sure that everything's sorted. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it kind of gave you some inspiration for things that you might need to do before a Disney trip, some things you can add to your to-do list, a few things that you might not have thought of. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out Wild. The link is in the description, and the code to get 20% off. And like I said, that is 20% off everything. I can't wait to get over there to start doing these new vlogs for the Halloween season for you guys. But in the meantime, there'll be a couple more videos after this one before those begin. Thank you guys so much as always for watching and taking the time out of your day. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.